I'm Hannah, and these are Jessica's hands, and today we're going to do the causes of World War I in plain English. So to begin, the Web of Alliances was formed in 1882. The Web of Alliances was one of the main causes of World War I. Germany was on alert because it was surrounded by two opposing Allied powers, Britain and Russia. Britain, France, and Serbia joined forces because they had feared Germany. The definition of powerful changed easily and frequently, which caused constant uproar among the nations. There were two main groups of the alliance system. There were the Central Powers, which were Germany, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and Turkey. There were also the Allied powers, which were Russia, France, Great Britain, and the United States. The alliance between Germany and Austria-Hungary was formed secretly in 1879. The alliance system meant that each country vowed to support one another should Russia ever attack. Most alliances or ententes were formed behind closed doors. The Triple Alliance formed the basis of the Central Powers. The Moroccan crisis of 1905 was one of two Moroccan crises. It took place when the relationship between Britain and France caused insecurity in Germany, leading the Germans to attack France through Morocco. Because Morocco was one of the few regions in Africa uncontrolled by European power, the Germans decided to assist the Sultan of Morocco in maintaining independence, insisting on calling an international conference to discuss the matter. Germany posed the threat of war throughout 1905 until France agreed to do a conference in 1906. Britain's support for France only emphasized the little support that Germany received. The crisis proved to be hugely negatively impactful to the Germans. Firstly, they received no concessions from North Africa. Secondly, Germany had strengthened the Entente Cordiale. Thirdly, outside states began to consider war a possible result. And lastly, Germany was from then on seen as a major threat to the concern of the British. Any threat to Britain's naval supremacy was a threat to the nation. The Royal Navy was one of the most powerful fleets. It kept the British Isles immune from invasion. In 1906, the naval race became focused on the construction of a new class of battleship. Shipbuilding arms race in Britain soon began. The Bosnian crisis took place in 1908, following the First Moroccan crisis. After the Anglo-Russian Entente was signed, many Germans believed that they were being excluded, and the fear forced them into a closer relationship with Austria-Hungary. In 1908, Austria-Hungary divided into provinces of Bosnia and Hungary, which was done in response to the Ottoman Empire's internal crisis, causing fury in Serbia. Previously, Russia's foreign minister secretly gave Russia's acceptance and support for Austria-Hungary's decision in hopes that Austria-Hungary would support Russia's later decision to revise the treaties governing the closure of the powers in Dardanelles. The annexation happened before Russia's prime minister could gather international support for the plan. Aside from this, his actions were reacted to by London and Paris with hostility, as he received disdain for giving Austria control over slaves by Russia's prime minister. After this, Austria-Hungary and Russia's relationship was tense and on the verge of war. In January of 1909, Germany decided to stand more closely with Austria-Hungary, assuming them of their support should they declare war on each other. The Second Moroccan crisis happened in 1911. France sent troops to Fez, Morocco during May. Because of this, the Germans feared a French takeover and sent a gunboat. The Germans were later too ambitious and demanded the French Congo. The assertiveness implied the threat of war to outside nations. Later, David Lloyd gave what is known today as the Mansion House speech to warn Germany off, claiming that Britain's internal principles were in conflict with Germany. This speech turned the French-German crisis into the Anglo-German confrontation. Germany resolved the crisis by setting for the 2 strips of French Congo territory. There was ongoing instability and conflict in the Balkans. Being another one of the main reasons of World War I, the Balkans name referred to a large peninsula between the 4 seas. It also included Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, Macedonia, and Bosnia. The importance of the Balkan Peninsula was its location. It was situated between 3 empires, the Ottoman, Russian, and the Austro-Hungarian. The Balkans were also politically violative. They were disrupted by 2 wars between 1912 and 1913, as well as rising Serb national groups. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo provided the Austro-Hungarian government with a pretext for crushing Serb nationalism. Following the preluding tension, the First Balkan War took place in 1912, encouraged by Russia, Serbia, Greece, and Montenegro, secretly formed a Balkan alliance, whose objective was to force Turkey from the Balkans by taking Macedonia and dividing it up. Turkey, weakened by its pre-existing war with Italy, was driven out in 7 weeks. Austria called for war in denial of a stronger Serbia. The risk of Russia supporting Serbia caused the battle spiraling into a wide European war, which was British Foreign Secretary held a peace conference in London in order to avoid. As a result, the former Turkish land was divided into Balkan states, agreeing to the creation of Albania. The crisis raised hostility between Serbia and Austria-Hungary. Another conflict in the Balkans broke out over the tension from the First Balkan War. The Second Balkan War took place in 1913 between Bulgaria, Greece, and Serbia. The conflict was over the territory that had originally been occupied by Serbia. The Austro-Hungarian foreign minister, asking for German assistance, expected Russia to support Serbia. Germany urged the Austro-Hungarian foreign minister to refrain from attacking. But the Serbs, Greeks, and the Turkish ultimately defeated Bulgaria. The Treaty of Bucharest was signed in August of 1913. Bulgaria lost almost all of its land earned as a result of the First Balkan War. Nationalism rose exponentially in Serbia as they continued to succeed. After 2 Balkan wars, Serbia had doubled in size. At this point, Serbia had 200,000 men in their improved army, leading Russia to feel more encouraged to stand by Serbia as an ally, gaining confidence in doing so. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the direct cause of World War I. However, there are many causes of the war to end all wars that should be taken note of when considering the origins. Thank you for listening. These were Jessica's hands, and I'm Hannah. These were the causes of World War I in plain English.